Now we're unmuted. We hear a dog
Stanley,
barking.
stop barking, bro.
What's up, motherfuckers?
They can't see that Steve's doing his sensei shit over here.
Oh, I gotta. I hear us now.
You hear us?
Yeah.
Hello,
I
chat.
gotta,
How are
Get
you?
rid of my dog. I'll be right
He's like, gotta go shut the dog up. Watch, you're gonna hear boom, yipe.
Oh shit.
Bill, come on, not animal abuse too.
Bill's a savage. What can we say?
Yep. Vapor Swaggins and Vapor Doggins are going to be on the show, man. Hey, Bill.
Oh!
Yeah, you got it. Nice. That little thing fucking tiny, isn't it?
Dude, I can't believe that this shit's even a mod. It's small, dude.
And it actually works pretty well for what it is.
It's not bad, man. I figure, like I said, I'm going to try to do the video where I give it to my sister's husband and see what he does with it.
Wait a second. Can they see us already?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, Bill.
Why not? I'll show up. This is not released from them yet, but this is the new one. And the bottom, do you remember these little things? It's
Nope.
got a, let's see if I can turn it to face you. It's got a little window here. And as you turn it, it changes the wattage of the mod.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it goes from 5 to 80.
That's
I have
very
a
interesting.
Dial, huh?
Yeah, I just got it today. I got 2 of them. So,
Well, if
of
you
course
guys
I'll
didn't
do
notice,
one.
we have a special guest here today, and his name is Vapor Swaggins.
That's
How you
me.
doing?
What up?
Which one?
How are you? Good to see you.
He's the cute guy with the nice beard.
Oh, jeez.
We were discussing before the show that Eric and we all just, we decided we're about 40%. What did you say? Better looking now?
Sexier.
Sexier.
He improved us all the other 3 of us,
All of us.
by
Yeah,
at least
absolutely.
40%, just by him being here.
Y'all are just saying that.
So I do want to say in the chat, if you see me looking to the right, it's because the setup I have right now, my screen's on the right of me, but I'm going to try to stay focused straight. So don't think I'm just like not paying attention. I'm just kind of looking at the rest of the panel. Let's just say that.
Mhm.
So if someone here,
Hey, can I get one of the cool kids now? I got a new toy. Am I cool now?
No.
so I guess I'll shout out a couple people in the chat. We got Mr. Dodson. We got Mr. Ramirez. Robert Riggin. How you doing? Dustin Kendall. Drip Vibe Vapor. Philly Vape. How you doing, Mr. Philly? Ain't seen you in a while, I feel like. Matt Oswald. Cooper's Vaping View. That guy. He's a savage. Texas Cloud Town. Mike in LA. Yeah, and everyone else, hello. How you doing? Double Helix Designs, hello. So, what's new, guys? What's happening? What's good?
Well, I want to say hi to Matt Oswald, part of that politic clique. What's up? What's good? What's good? What's up? How's it going? We're swagging out like our names was Swaggins.
All right.
Nick Swaggins, man. So, I feel like I brought out a fancy mod because I feel like Mr. Swaggins likes fancy shit. So, I brought a fancy mod out with me today for the show. And it's
Uh-oh.
Would you look at that?
look at that.
Would you look at that?
Just look at it.
The L dot.
Look at it.
What do you think of the L dot?
Well, I like it. I feel like it definitely produces on the lay flavor, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy to build. I like the satin finish. I think for being an American-made product, I think it holds its head up high with the rest of the high-end shit.
Holds its head up high, he said.
High. Higher than high, if you will.
Well, why can't American be high end?
I don't know that it can't be high-end. I feel like there's not a lot of high-end in America that I prefer to vape. I mean, yes, there are like dual-coil high-end, I guess. There's,
Different vaping styles. I got you.
Yes. They don't make shit like this. Let's
I
put it that
consider this high end. Would you?
Definitely. Yes.
Yeah.
It's more accessible though, I feel like, but I feel like it could be considered high end.
Absolutely.
It's definitely more accessible.
Well, I mean, not to choose the topic of your show, but like there's a checklist for high end, I feel like. And it's like, I don't know if there's an unnamed number of things it needs to check boxes for, but what kind of gets you that pedigree? I think I've spoken about this before, but what gets you that pedigree, like that Geppetto pedigree, is resellability and exclusivity. I mean, there may be constant releases or they may constantly be making them, or you can, contact them and order one. But it's like, all right, well, when you're done with it, if you put that up to sell, would it be gone in a minute? Would it be gone soon, but still maintain its value? You know, those kind of things are what really bring up that kind of high-end mentality.
Or if you put it up for sale and nobody buys it right away, but a bunch of motherfuckers are just sitting there whining about wanting it.
Exactly. Well, that's the thing too. You have people that watch you and they're like, I know this guy. You know, you have those meticulous fucks that are like, I know this guy and I'm going to wait 2 weeks. It's not going to sell and he's going to drop the price. I'm going to wait for him to drop those fucking scumbags. I'm just kidding. I mean, anybody would be justified in doing that, I suppose.
But I mean, do you think it's the exclusivity that makes it high end? Because you figure the people that make it, they do it that way intendedly. Because I mean, I never even seen this before. I seen it on Vaping Art, but I don't know if I put it up for sale, if it would go up quick. It'd probably sit there for a while, man.
I could tell you, man. Tell me to shut up whenever. But I had a Royal RDTA, one of 99, a made. Beautiful company, beautiful addies, like up there. Basically, I'd say that they're trying to push the exclusivity of like M Addy or
Sure.
Akko or something like that, but they're not pushing the hype train. They're not present enough. So without hype, like it was like a $200 Addy that I couldn't sell because the only people that knew about it were probably the guys that already bought it or whatever, you know, or the more European niche kind of groups. I don't know. But with the RTA that's out, that certainly shoots holes in my theory. But RTAs are really hot right now, a lot more than RDTAs. But hype, absolutely, dude. Hype is required. ESG does the hype thing like none other. I mean, the Skyline is a good RTA. It's not my favorite RTA, but it's 2 years later and it's still hard to get, and it still has a lot of tradability.
See, but you know the one you just talked about, the Royal? I was on the Stratum store, and I feel like it didn't sell out, right? I mean, it was still there for a while. So maybe it just wasn't picked up on enough, like you said, man.
Yeah. It's a lot like the Integra, the Royal. I mean, not the Royal. Yeah, the Lord. It's a lot like the Integra. A little bit different. It's a little bit more quirky with the build style. But having an Integra makes the difference between why I didn't get a Lord. The Lord's the more attainable Integra, I would say, an alternative.
So let me ask you something, Mr. Swaggins.
Sure.
Since you are the guest, I maybe I missed this in the past, maybe I'm not sure, but how did you become a panel member on the vape, the high end? Well, the vape stew, right? Yeah, the vape stew.
The vape stew. Yeah, that's a long story, man.
$6,000 worth of equipment on your table.
No, that happened after.
I remember watching this whole thing. It was actually kind of funny.
Then I mean, I guess you could speak to it. Obviously, I could speak to it. I mean, I'm the guy who we're talking about. That would be very vain of me to be like, yeah, why don't you talk about me? But anyways, so basically, I watched the stew. I became very ingrained and in the community, and started the Discord, or mentioned making a Discord. We did the Discord thing, hung out with everybody all the time. I have the equipment, the setup, I guess, to do stuff like this. We started the Vaping with the Omies show, basically to fill in a gap. When everybody was out at expos, we did something called a leftover stew. And then a group of us just latched onto each other and created Vaping with the Omies. We've been doing that for over a year now. But as a result of that, like in speaking with Stan and all them, I came on a few times as a guest, and then I became an alternative. The alternate, rather. They called me the alternate. And then I wound up being on the show after Demo left. I was asked to step up, almost like it was like AAA ball or some shit like that.
Well, wasn't Sherlock the replacement first?
Yes,
And
Sherlock was the replacement.
And then you replaced the replacement, but always secretly it was supposed to be you.
I think so. I mean, you know what? So that's just my lot in life. People are like, you know what? I don't know. I don't know whether I want him to be a part of this. He's a little bit off the cuff, and for a show like the Stew, I've learned to be more professional and drop less F-bombs consecutively. It's fun. It's fun to do. That's how I got on the Stew. The High End Vape Forum was my brainchild with Stan, we created this idea through talks that we were having as we were getting into high end over a year ago. And then we started talking with Pal and Louie, and it just fit. And that's how the high end vape form became a thing.
Yeah, Louie and Pal have both been on this show plenty of times, especially Louie. Louie's like almost our fill-in host when one of us is gone.
Say that? Do you think that he would agree? He'd be like, yeah, I'm their fill-in.
I don't know if he would agree. He just always says yes.
He seems to be available when we need him, and it's very much appreciated.
Wait. Let's label that properly. He's our go-to guest star. How's that?
That could work.
He's our
Don't call him a booty call, because I know he has the most beautiful hair in the vape game, but he is.
He doesn't like it cold.
He's not booty call material. He's the guy you bring home to mom.
He definitely has that enduring quality. I'll give him that.
Love you, Louie.
Is he in the chat yet? I don't know. I didn't see him.
I watch your show. I've been here. I've seen. I know that they've been on the show.
You're in the chat quite often.
I'm on vacation. If you didn't know, I just did a show and came right into this one. So normally, like, I'm eating dinner now and then getting ready for tomorrow at work. But I'm on vacation. So when Steven reached out to me, I was like, fuck yeah. Resounding. Because I love Bill.
Mailman got cast aside for Louie.
Oh, man. Mailman.
Fuck Mailman. Fuck him. Fuck you, Mailman.
Oh, sorry.
Damn.
Hey, Mailman is a close runner-up as well. He's a
runner-up to licking my asshole.
He's a power bottom for sure.
No, Mailman is definitely the booty call. If Louie's who you bring home to mom, Mailman's the booty call.
There we go. Checking the mail. Get it? Checking the mail.
He's always being debaucherous on here too, so he is the booty call.
That's true.
Every time he's on here, this show goes fucking sideways.
Oh yeah, and we're already pretty debaucherous, but not like super bad, just enough to be considered somewhat. But Mailman comes on here, and all of a sudden, we're talking about Tinder is how we all met, but actually Grindr, I guess, and
Grindr
and all this weird stuff. I don't know. I apologize that my face is so greasy. I was working my ass off today, getting a fucking 400-foot Ethernet cord running from my house to this studio.
And your internet's still better than mine.
Did you put it underground? Did you like dig a trench?
Yeah, it sucks.
Oh, did you like put it through piping, or you just like, fuck it, I'm throwing the wire in here?
Well, I bought this expensive ass shit that's waterproof and supposed to be like you can't like it's cut resistant. They can't call it cut proof, obviously.
Right.
And part of it I did do PVC piping, but some of it I was like towards the end, and I was like, "Fuck this! I am."
Just stick it in the dirt, baby.
Yeah.
That's totally gonna be the part that fucks up. Too.
I know.
It's like, damn it! I should have gone. I should have gone full on.
The last quarter. Yep.
I'm with you, man.
Debauchery.
Debauchery. Douchebaggery.
I don't
Is that
have.
what it is?
I realized I don't have Bill's Savage Corner little thing on this computer. I need to get it going real quick.
No worries. No worry.
Bill is already savage enough.
Bill Cooper is a savage.
He's stupid savage.
He's stupid, dumb savage.
Why aren't there like stickers with Bill's face on it and just savage behind that?
That's good marketing, man.
That's a good question.
You need to
Savage
market
Bill
it.
Cooper reviews.
You know what? The last review, I did get a little savage. It actually took me, I'd say, I don't know if you watched it. The review on the Widowmaker. A lot of people, it did get a bunch of views, but I kind of went off on the people who were calling it a Billy Club clone and stuff like that. I kind of, I kind of went off, but it took me, I'd say, at least 8 to 10 takes. Because I kept saying, all right, stop calling people assholes, stop saying dick. I was like, I wanted to do it without offending, because I knew as soon as I released it and I said anything pertaining to Billy Club, someone was going to show it to Charles Rowe. I knew it was going to happen. So I was like, I redid it. And I was actually very nice about it.
It's not like you were smashing his mod, with a hammer. And
Sure. So, Mr. Swaggins, in the chat, I seen we asked, how long does it take you to edit your videos?
That's a good question. I answered him actually. I don't do any of my own editing. My counterpart Hatsu Minamoto, he does it all for me. Pretty much all of my affairs off screen. Like I live inside this box. It's, as you can imagine, it's really hard to get anywhere in the world when you're stuck in a box.
Mhm.
Hatsu is my guy. He does everything. He's in his 70s. He's a little older, but he's been through both world wars. He's a hero of both of them, actually, for the American side, interestingly enough. But he was born in Denmark, and he's a doctor. He studied at Harvard. So he's got a lot going on, but in his retirement, kind of takes care of me.
Not sure if that was a real story or if that was fabricated. We'll just say that it's true.
Yes.
I feel like that.
You know what? I got to address something for we. You know what? Yeah, I'd say it borders on clone. He did change it a little bit, but honestly, almost every mod out is a clone right now if you want to put that type of lens on it. So, I mean, calling it a clone, I'd say it's a different iteration of
Well,
the
is
mod.
it 3D printed? Is it 21700? I didn't watch your video. Sorry, Bill. Last one I watched from you was
3D printed. It doesn't have the sharp edges that, you know, and the transitions that the Billy Club has, you know, and it doesn't have that shelf off the top of it, but it is very similar as far as like that setup right there. But like I said in the video, if you watched it, it was you know, Palm's done it. The Upador did it.
This has a door on.
The
This has a
UAV
door on it.
SVA. That's a door?
Yeah.
Yeah,
the Billy
this doesn't
Club
have
has
a door. It's actually a battery tube.
Exactly.
So,
So I mean,
I
the
mean,
difference is, what's the price point on it?
The price point, 240, 250, give or take.
Well, that's
Yeah,
still
Bill-
fair. I think that's a fair price.
Well,
Yeah.
I think you could even say this is you know, the Palm Plus is a little bit like the Billy Club too, but this I think came first.
Definitely.
Yeah, it came out a long time
Yeah.
before the Billy Club.
Look at
So,
this.
and the one thing,
Yep.
if you want to make it really easy, I
And
can
that's
show
not
you
a palm.
a chat between myself and Mr. Rowe that he even said it's not the same. He did it a little bit differently, and he has no issue with it. So he doesn't understand why everybody else does.
Hey, what is that mod with the Juma on it?
You want to talk about clones? This is the Palm. This is the Palm V2, the 18650 DNA 75. There's no battery in this. This is the CLZ RQ, custom. You know, like send the block in, they make it. This is his mod, and it's like there are a lot of freaking similarities here.
Which one came out first? The Palm?
I couldn't tell you. I mean, this is a small guy in Finland.
Sure.
And there's
But you know, man,
There's basically a side squonk with the battery behind the board, which is the Billy Club did that, and there's multiple other mods. who
It's
did that.
comfortable.
I'm
okay?
not saying. All right, Anthony's catching it wrong. I'm not saying the Billy Club is a clone. I'm saying if you want to throw that type of lens that this is a clone of the Billy Club, then you'd also have to say that the Billy Club's a clone because you're looking at it through that lens. All it is a side squonk with the battery behind the board. It's been done at least 8 other times
the
before
same with
the
this.
Billy Club.
it
So,
looks same form
exactly.
factor. If you look at the form factor of these, I mean, this
I'm sorry, Anthony.
a little bit different form factor, but I mean, there's only so many ways you can make a mod ergonomic, small enough that you can use it, you know, comfortably with either hand. I mean,
The only way you're going to make a mod that doesn't look like any other mod is if you make it to where it's intentionally not comfortable to hold. That's the only way you're going to make a mod that doesn't look like any other mod.
Here's the
Because
deal, man.
that's
true.
At the end of the day,
No.
that's not going to be a Billy Club. So the people that are BMM fans and want a Billy Club, I can't say they're not going to buy that as an alternative because it may be more accessible, but they're still, even if they did, they're still going to want a Billy Club. You want a Billy
course.
Club, you wait to get a Billy Club.
I have this, and I told Charles I still want a Bordeaux Billy Club. That's my dream mod. I want one of those so bad, but
if you like that form factor, you're gonna like it. You're gonna buy it just because of that.
I just want a left-handed one because this is a right-handed, and I hold my mods in my left hand.
Yes, and people don't know. Do people know about that? Like, there are a lot of modders where it's like you buy the opposite. So you buy a righty mod for a left hand. That's what the Billy Club is.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
you
how
buy
the,
right-handed, hold it in your left.
the other one too, the dual battery by BMM, I had the opposite hand, but it works with the right hand. The Tiny V2 is the same way.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is something I feel like you'll like, Swags. I seen you wear a sombrero the other day.
That's hilarious. Nacho, dude. Those things,
Little 18350 squonk.
they're gimmicks. I have a Matchbox. Thank you to Mac Tandon. This is a birthday present from him. I mean, these little guys, it's like, it's cool. It's a MOSFET little 18350 squonker, but look at this dainty little bottle right here.
I know, man. They're a little bit ridiculous. If you look how tiny this freaking
Why
bottle is.
even bother with a bottle?
Dude, I don't even fill it up. It's like
Because
1.5
it's a gimmick,
mils.
just like this DNA pod system I have over here, the Orion, the OG Orion. It's like it could have been great, but in reality, it was just it was a stepping stone to something. These are not a stepping stone to really anything. They're just a gimmick.
Yeah,
So
they're
I-
like space, like desk space taker, you know?
I have a question for Vapor Swaggins because something happened in the vape community earlier today, and I don't have all the information, so hopefully I'm going to look to chat to guide me on this because so the rumor mill's been churning that the owner of Friendly Flippers has an issue with Bantam Box and says they're clones and called out Connor Rowan from Mum's Vapes and Sean Maddox for supporting cloners. And then he closed his group up. Does anybody know about this? What the hell's going on?
All I know is that I hope if he's going to implode or explode, I hope I can get my hands on a Delro before he does that because I like that better than the Billet Box, I'll be honest. Because you could call that a freaking clone. You could call that a blatant clone of the Billet Box. So, you know what?
Yeah.
You want to get into that clone fight? Good luck. I'm not going to latch myself onto either.
Connor and Sean were making panels for the Bantam Box, and he actually called Sean out and Connor for supporting cloners. Now, my son and I had a quick little conversation about it. But my issue is I understand Friendly Flippers. I understand what he's saying, and I don't agree with it, but I'll defend his right to say it. But you don't want to make an enemy of all the followers of Sean Maddox and Connor Round. That's a lot of people to piss off.
Wait, the Bantam Box, is that the little DNA 60 thing?
Yeah, it's like a miniaturized billet box. It's like a cross between the billet box and the Limelight 50.
18350 Billet Box. Stan has one of them. They have like Mum's Vapor did G10 doors for it, stuff like that.
See, because I was gonna say I thought Limelight made the same shit. Didn't they made like the same thing, right?
Look at Dot Mod. They just made a freaking Billet Box clone.
Yeah. There's really no way around it. If it works, people are gonna make it work in their own way, in their own style. So
yeah, but I mean, here's my thing is a lot of people have the clone fight. I don't support, like you and I just said earlier before the show started, I don't support cloners, but I'm not going to down someone who buys a clone because I don't know what their wallet looks like.
Right.
I don't know what's in their bank account. So they might not, and I have that mentality. I had bought clones when I first started vaping, and as soon as someone said, "Oh, that's a clone," I used to tell them, if you want to buy me an original, I'm totally down with that. But until then, if I'm spending my own money, I'll buy what I can afford.
I agree.
That's my problem is I don't support cloners, but I won't down someone if they buy a clone. You got to do what you got to do.
I mean, look, I just feel like I don't have a stance on clones either. I feel like they are wrong, I guess, but I don't purchase clones because I can buy the real thing, I guess. But I definitely sympathize if someone wants to try something and they can't afford it. I mean,
I like what Mark Linkus said.
What did he say?
He said if people fought for advocacy as much as they bitched about clones, the FDA would be on the run.
That's what my Savage Corner was about. That's exactly what my Savage Corner was going to be about.
Well, you can still do it. I've got everything set up for your little intro.
Right now. Sour Patch.
I saw him. He's munching.
So basically, my thing was I'm really tired of all these people, having these fights about your mod versus my mod and having these fucking pissing contests. You know what?
Let me do your intro, Bill.
I got an intro now. All right.
Calm down, Bill. I know you're savage, but let us give you a savage intro.
Is there music to it and everything? I never listened.
How savage that guy's face is.
There you go.
All right, my problem is with everybody doing the comparing each other's mods like it's a fucking pissing contest. It's like we're in fucking school again. You know, I didn't enjoy high school the first time. Yeah,
So one-to-one clone right there.
metrics. My problem is everybody wants to down each other, and you know, it's no offense. Here's my problem is I'm looking at it this way. While we're fighting with each other, the FDA is going to slide in the side door. They're going to sweep the fucking leg, Johnny, and you're going to fucking hit the mat.
Wait, who's Johnny?
They're going to, yeah, exactly.
Who the hell's Johnny, Bill?
Yeah, we've got to warn Johnny.
Is that is that who the repair guy was taking care of?
Suck ass. Oh my God. Dude, no, seriously. If every time somebody posted a fucking hand check, they wrote a letter to the FDA, they'd be so swamped they'd have to fucking give up the fight. You know, the problem is we're so busy fighting with each other. We have these little cliques. We have guys who support this modder, go against this modder. You know what? It's like being in high school again. We all need to grow the fuck up. And we need to pay attention because the FDA is not sleeping on us. And they're sure as hell not fighting with each other over there. They have their sights firmly set on us. And
I like
that's,
high school.
I'm going to leave it at that.
You know what?
Is that it for Bill Savage Corner?
Yeah, I'm going to let it go.
I got to do it again. Sorry. There we go.
I'm gonna have to go back and listen to the music, man. I can't hear it.
It's angry music.
Is it an electric
I
guitar and a
understand.
steel drum?
I understand. He's 100% wrong. You're cool with saying that, but you will not change my mind. I think we waste way
Dude.
too much effort on fucking. Yes, people are still voting, but honestly, I don't
Great
think there's
idea,
enough of
Bill.
a presence.
Bill, you got to set up like one of those pop-up poker tables. You got to sit behind it with like one of those, straw hats on and say,
My mind.
"Yeah, change my mind." Just on anything. Just talk to me. Change my mind.
Well, you know what? Mark Linkus made one for me because we got into a discussion in one of the groups, and this one guy was saying, if you're running a single coil RDA, you need at least 100 watts or above. And I said, no offense between you and I said, if you are vaping over 100 watts on a single coil RDA, you are using wattage to overcome a shitty build.
Yeah, what the fuck? 100 watts.
So he made one of those of the guy sitting behind the thing that said, vaping over 100 watts is just overcoming for a shitty build. Changed my mind.
Hey, I do want to shout out Robert Riggin in the chat. If you guys go to my group, he actually dremeled down this airflow post to make those coils fit bigger coils in it, and it's fucking dope. I don't know why.
Wicked.
I'm taking credit for that idea. I was the first one to fucking do a review and say, dremel that shit out. No, seriously.
Yes.
That build area is way too tight on those.
It's tight like a tiger.
Dude, I'll tell you what. I didn't get the Wicked because it looked like it was rushed out the door. I got the Wicked, and it's phenomenal. I've had the Monarch V1 and the Monarch V2, and I got rid of both of them and kept my Wicked.
Really?
Wicked's on point, man. I mean, because you can switch your airflow out to anything you like, and I feel like having that customization, man, makes it.
Wicked right here.
I have a Wicked. Oh, wait a second. What's
I wanted the original
hates the
ones,
Wicked.
like this is like Boltum, Black Ultim, or something like that.
That's the one I got too, man. But mine's peeling.
Hold on a second.
Sucks.
Me and Vapor Swaggins, does this make us twins now? Because I got my
Nice.
Wicked on the Squeebo.
It's rocking, bro. Absolutely. I'm not at liberty to say how I feel about the Squeebo right now.
Yeah. Actually, my favorite RDA right now is that right there. I got the Hussar Legacy. I love this thing. I love it.
Dude,
It's
what am I loving right now? I'm loving this.
yeah. Another motherfucker with that damn
And
Omega.
I can't show you the RDA because it's in there. So, or RSA, I would say.
So we had Pal on last week, and he liked his too. So you really like yours a lot?
I do. I'll tell you my one gripe, and I went on vacation. I'm still on vacation, but last week I went to Martha's Vineyard with the family. That's an island over here in Massachusetts. And I brought just that, and I brought actually a Jenna on a cycloid, but I was rocking that pretty much the whole time on its own. The one gripe I have with it is the bottle size. I think that there's enough space in there that they could have used the bigger bracket. And I mean, obviously they're doing their thing here, but it's the 18650, so they matched it up with the 18650 bottles. But I think they could have used the 21700 bottle in there, and it would be perfect. I mean, it's not bad the way it is. It would be perfect.
For which mod, Vapor?
For this mod, they're using the 18650 bottle from the other clubs and whatnot.
Yeah.
Mac and the regulateds. If they use the 21700 one, just those extra couple mils of juice. I mean, I don't go through it like crazy, but I just know that if I went out, for an extended period of time where I was vaping with other people, I would want to have 2 bottles or something to fill it up.
You wouldn't want this kind of bottle inside?
No.
No?
Unless that's a rhetorical question. Absolutely not. Fuck no would be the better answer.
Fuck no!
Hey, man, it's just an honest question.
That's the God's honest truth.
I hear it. God's honest truth. From West Virginia to wherever you're at on vacation.
Mm-hmm. Did you know there's a North Dakota?
Yes.
There is?
Yeah, dude.
Where?
But did you know that there's a western part of Virginia?
Yeah.
Did you know?
Weren't they wasn't West Virginia with the North during the Civil War?
Yes, we were.
Exactly. See, I know a little bit of history.
Yep. We were created out of the Civil War by tricking the government into giving us our own state.
Has it worked out so far?
Oh, well, West Virginia is like the lowest in every single category, but we're still doing well. We're doing good. Yeah.
Well, you're from there, and I like you, so as far as I'm concerned, West Virginia, fuck yeah.
Okay, cool. But you wouldn't like anyone else but me, I'm telling you.
Okay. All right. Do you guys ride horses there? Is that like a horse?
Yes. Actually, we ride sheep.
Sheep?
Yes, we ride sheep.
Dirty sheep riders. Get the fuck out of here.
That we also marry later on in the year.
Okay.
That's just normally how it goes here. If it's not your sister, it's your sheep in West Virginia.
All right.
It's not only my wife, it's my ride to work.
That sounds like a campaign to run on right there.
Sure. Yeah. That's why I don't even know. I feel like vaping would be safe in West Virginia because, I mean, all they care about is making money here. So, and our sheep, of course. But.
No, Nick, I didn't scold chat. I basically scolded the world just for the hell of it.
Well, that's usually what you're pretty good at, Bill. You're good at scolding.
Well, speaking of billet boxes, I see you have one, Bill.
Yeah.
And I was wondering, what do you think about the resurgence of the billet box? Did you see it coming? Anybody here? And do you love it any more than you did before? Does everybody liking it all of a sudden breathe new life?
I sold mine 2 weeks after I bought it. I fucking hated it.
I got one. I had the Dirt Pie billet box, and I had the vape shell inside of there, and I hated it, and I got rid of it. And the problem is someone told me, well, you should have tried this, this, and this, and I realized I was building it wrong. The other problem I had is I'd put the vape shell, I'd put a coil in there that was a 0.25 ohm coil. And as soon as I put it in the billet box, it was reading at 0.53. And I'm like, what the fuck? So it kind of annoyed the shit out of me. So I got this one. It's got an exo set in it, but it wound up costing me an HC5 Red Delrin with a Vena on top of it. But I got this with a whole package and a bunch of extras. I got like 3 bridges and 2 burrows and leather case, so I couldn't argue.
See, I had mine for about a week, and then I traded it for a Rico from BMM. But I don't know. You know what? I wish I would have reviewed mine, but I was running short for time because I was leaving for vacation that week, and I was like, I'm just going to make this trade. So I traded it. But I think that the billet box probably has always had a steady, flow. But
You shit yourself? What
Yeah,
was that?
What was that?
What are you pressing?
was that a ghost?
What just happened?
I think that your wire thing isn't working out, bro. Maybe you should have finished that shit.
Is there moles in your yard?
Or maybe there's just ghosts in your shed. I don't know.
Ghost shed.
What happened?
No, but I think I do think that the billet box is resurging, but I feel like there's always new tank enhancements coming out for it, so that probably keeps the interest up.
Hey, you guys aren't answering me, and I'm fucking confused.
Hello?
We don't hear it. We just heard some static, like you were like scratching
hear
your
us?
ribs over there. I don't know what you're doing, but
Are you stuck in the box?
Oh, he can't hear us. He lost sound.
No, I can hear you.
Oh, well then that mystery's been solved. Anybody want a Scooby snack?
I was just fucking around to see if Steve reacted, and he did.
Does
Oh.
anyone want a crayon?
Yeah, dude. What flavors do you have?
64 flavors of colors.
yeah. Grab
Wow.
those. Did you use those crayons to draw a picture of where the guy touched you? Is that what those are, leftovers?
I sign all my checks with crayons. Most times. If I use checks. But I don't
You
think
know what? See, Daddy H, you know what? I'm looking forward to that Haku bridge as well. But just as much, I'm looking to see that new Karma bridge that Mission's been teasing. I want to
So
see
wait.
both of them.
Swaggins, you asked the question, but what do you think? Do you think there's a resurgence?
Oh, absolutely. And I'm not. It doesn't mean I want one again. I mean, I do I wish that I had one still, because word on the street is that there may be DHD panels coming out for billet boxes.
All right, so the old guy in the group, who's DHD and what is DHD?
Double helix designs, the drip tips.
Oh yeah.
Actually, she has. She's done. I have one on my Convergent right here. She does these micro tips now, which are pretty. It's pretty dope. I mean, some people that like color or whatnot, like to have like a sweet
That's
little
cool.
drip tip, like custom made. She has all of her colors and whatnot. But anyways, yeah, that's the only reason really. I just found the billet box to be a little too girthy in the hand, if you will, considering what else is available out there. And I got a vape shell in mine. I got the Dober, whatever.
Yeah.
And this is more my style. This is what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if this has been a thing in the past. This is the first time I'm seeing it in my 5 years.
Yeah, I've never seen one.
But like, this is the answer to the people that want an all-in-one experience, but don't want to sacrifice that RDA vape.
The only thing it really reminds me of, but I mean, it's very far off even by saying this. I mean, it's very, very loosely would be like a rail box, but that's not even a squonk. So,
You know what? Here's the funny part. Robert Riggin said he wants an RBA for his Orion. Honestly, I think by the time fucking JD releases it, Orions are going to be on every website like $5 clearance. So I think
not the DNA Go ones though, man. The chip alone costs too much for them to be able to take that kind of a loss.
Yeah, but it's honestly, I think JD missed the wave. He was so busy trying to repair his reputation after the original Boxer V1. I think he missed that wave of all the pods coming out, because honestly, if it were up to me, I would have told him, go straight for the fucking Orchid. At least it's got an adjustable chip. Don't do the freaking Orion. But that's me. I mean, I figured the Orchid, because it's adjustable up to 30 watts and down in 1 watt increments, would have been a better candidate for a rebuildable.
Sorry.
Yeah, but
Nick and Robert are both pestering me, so I'm showing them why they are hearing my audio in mono right now. Okay?
I'm not hearing it in mono.
I know, but some people will. It depends on what their output settings are, if they have default settings. So you got nice headphones and all that. this has got two different lines because it's set up so that if I decided to play an instrument at the same time, that I could, but I'm not. So it's
Why don't you pull the ukulele out and friggin' sing us a tune? Let's go.
The electric triangle, man.
I have never heard anybody rap to ukulele before. I want to see that.
Be different, man. Try something that no one else is.
I am doing a song with my buddy who plays the didgeridoo. I don't even fucking know. He just asked me the other day.
That's so freaking Washington of you to do something. You know, that's the reason why the Seahawks will never win another Super Bowl.
Wow.
Good thing I'm not a Seahawks fan, huh? I'm a Broncos fan, bro.
All right,
That's
like,
worse.
We've won 3 Super Bowls since 1998.
How's Eli doing? Oh wait,
Wrong brother.
You might on my team. I'm a Giants fan.
they're the same guy. When Eli gets on the Peds like Peyton was, he'll be good like his brother was.
That's true.
Hey, on this channel, we don't speak ill will of Peyton Manning.
I'm sorry, he was a glorious cheater.
Is a glorious cheater. He was one of the ones who didn't get caught.
Well,
Exactly.
Swaggins has to be a Patriots fan because Patriots are the only one who Patriots fans are the only other ones who try to point out other teams are cheaters because they've been caught the most for cheating.
You know what?
In
I will.
league
You know what
history.
Talk about it.
I'm gonna bow out of this.
Just-
Even though I started it and I feel awful about it, I'm gonna tap out because I really don't care that much.
You don't like football?
Well, no.
No, I mean I live in like the city of champions or the state of champions or the
West Virginia?
No,
See?
no,
do you-
Massachusetts.
I love it. But always remember, put a positive spin on it because, yes, the Patriots have won more Super Bowls, but they have also lost more Super Bowls than everybody else, too.
Hey, that's like, dude, when the Bruins were good, man, the reason why we won is because we were big, strong, and we shot a lot.
And
We'd
Ray
have
Bork.
30 shots on net in a game and like 4 goals. It's about, we realized that, like, we started playing the game, we started saying, all right, well, play hard. And you know, how many trips to the Super Bowl have we had? At least that. Like,
You
think
keep
about that.
putting shots on the net. Eventually, some are going to go in. I agree with that philosophy.
We need that philosophy. Dude, we need that philosophy in vaping. What a great transition, Bill. Bill Savage over here.
We already knew that, man. You got to take them shots, man. Put them on goal.
I'm serious, though. I mean, that's a good transition. We got to take more shots on the net.
I agree.
Elaborate some more what you mean by that.
So the proverbial shot is us being active and fighting for the industry, and the proverbial net, is us being able to convince the FDA not to destroy vaping. So that's what I mean.
But I mean, what could we absolutely do to even do that in America, where they just care about the money, not the health? You know,
Continue to reach out to people outside of our community. Most of the time, I recommend that people speak with their family members, their friends, because those are the people that you're gonna be able to relate with, have a conversation with, like not Facebook acquaintances. You look at Facebook and someone posts something you don't like, and you either delete them, unfollow them, or just say something angry, because it's like traffic in a car. Someone cuts you off. You don't know who that person is, but you hate them with all of your being in that moment.
Road rage.
Like, these are the people, like the bumper sticker people. Unless they're your family members, you're not going to be able to change their mind. So you need to talk to the people you have influence over, and that's what we need to do. And then the people that have done that also, and there's some people that are called to be on Twitter. There's some people that are called to be on YouTube. And we are out there. That's what we're doing. I mean, that's what I do on shows. It's like I may not be physically at a court hearing or whatever, but, you know, I'm not to say that it's a cop-out, but there's certain people that are called to do certain things. And I feel like we're here to have a springboard to talk to people about the things they can be doing, and then they can be inspired to do something else or do something similarly. Just getting the word out there and continuing to speak about the outrage. Sorry to be on a soapbox, but that's what I mean.
I agree 100%. That's why in my last video I was telling people, you know what? Take a moment. You know what? Advocate, because if you find one of these brainwashed people by the media, you know, take a moment to educate them, because now, perfect example. My wife had surgery and my mother-in-law's here. She's in her 70s. And she's like, I don't know why you do that vape shit. It's bad for you. It's even worse than smoking, you know. And she gave me this speech. And then when I turned around and showed her the articles about, you know, how 95% harm reduction, the Royal Academy of Physicians approved it, that they opened multiple vape shops in hospitals in the UK. And she was like, oh, it kind of like changed her mind. And now we were watching an article on the news the other day about vaping, and a guy who had a battery explode in his pocket. And she turns around, she looks at me, she goes, let me guess, someone who didn't know how to store their batteries? I was like, exactly.
Well,
she actually learned about vaping. It's hilarious.
I don't know if you guys saw this recently on a bigger channel on YouTube that does nothing with vaping. They just happened to push along some news. There was the dude who was like a 2-a-day pack smoker of cigarettes. So then he moved on to Juuls, and then he was like using however many cartridges of Juuls, and then he had a stroke. So he blamed it on that. And now that was like all over the media that if you.
But he was dropping 2 Juul pods a day. Holy shit. How much are you vaping?
How healthy could that guy have really been? That, I mean, come on, man.
Not
You just can't.
I mean, you know what? If you're taking in that much nicotine, yes, nicotine is a vasodilator. Vasodilator. Excuse me. So, yeah, it's opening up and it's going to drop your blood pressure and it's going to affect how your circulatory system works. So, yes, that could cause a heart attack. If he has a slow clot, yeah, it's going to open the veins up and it's going to allow that clot to move.
So what you're saying is you're not saying that vaping causes it. You're saying that it's a contributing factor for people who are sick with a very hyperacute kind of thing.
And not only that, but who's
I don't
to
think
say
it was the vaping that did it. I think it was the amount of vaping. Everything in fucking moderation, man.
Absolutely.
You can't
who's
just
to say that wouldn't have happened if he continued to smoke 2 packs of cigarettes a day or however many packs of cigarettes he was smoking.
Absolutely.
It just happened to happen when he was vaping. So that's the kind of shit that gets pushed out. So when you say, and I do, what you say is something I try to do. When people see me vaping and they're like, that's bad for you, this and that and bullshit. I do try to say shit to them, but it always seems to fall on deaf ears. Like I'm just blowing, like smoke up their ass or something. But it's like, I that's a lot of the time what happens when you speak.
Well, you just say, like, honestly, to people like that ask the question but already have the answer in their mind, you say, listen, it already seems like you have your mind made up. So I have a few articles that I can share with you if you're interested. If you're really interested, you can check this stuff out. And then you can come back to me and then you can ask me anything you want about those articles and we can talk about it. But otherwise, it doesn't seem like we're getting anywhere here. So why don't you just have a good day?
Yeah, just shut it down before it gets started. But hey, man,
suck a bag of dicks.
I said good day.
That's something that occurs daily, though. Especially, I don't know. I bring up West Virginia a lot, and I joke about West
Michelle
Virginia.
Lynn Deldime's here. Sorry,
I know.
But I feel like people around here still smoke cigarettes a lot. They won't move to vaping. It's just because it's easily accessible here because there's 2 vape shops in my area. But then they also, overcharge you out the ass at those vape shops. So it's like people are thinking with their wallet, like what's cheaper. They don't think about what's less harmful. So
yeah, but you know what? In that same token, people think with their wallet because I've been at the vape shop hanging out and I can't count how many people I've walked in and they're like, oh, how much for that mod? And he's like, $80. And I'll throw in batteries, 2 batteries for $10. And they're like, oh my God, I can get it for half that online.
Yeah.
Have a nice day. Good luck with that.
Honestly, there shouldn't be a markup on the mods. I'll be honest. They'd be better off, I'd say, vape shops. Now, I'm not like an authority on it, but it just seems obvious to me that you don't put that big of a markup on your hardware because your money is in the e-liquid. So just mark up your e-liquid and sell your freaking inventory. Then maybe people won't be buying fucking pods all the time.
Yeah.
Maybe I should, go back to school and study rocket science.
I feel like, look, I do buy this. I know everybody loves this juice because it's the greatest juice on earth and it's not toilet water. But this juice,
yes,
they do mark up juice in shops. But you're right. If they were to make everything else more feasible, it would kind of even out, I guess, right? I mean,
but the markup on juice is still like liquid is way cheaper. Now, I mean, when I started, it was like $30 for 30 mils, okay? And people are complaining about a tax on that shit now where it's like, all right, every mil is going to be $1. Well, dude, that's the way it used to be. So it's like now you get a 120 mil for $18 and the shop's still making $7, $8, $9 off of it, whatever.
Sure.
That's where your markup is.
I remember back in the day, I was dropping $20 for 15 mils. You know, back in the Cigalite days when you had 24 milligram and 28 milligram, you know, e-juice, you were dropping $20 for 15 mils. It got really cheap because the market got so flooded, the competition, you had no choice but to drop your prices.
Yeah.
Now it's heading right back up there with these taxes. So welcome to my world. I've been there before.
See, I wasn't vaping that long to know that, but I know that before I found online sales, I mean, you figure this juice in a shop is like $20, $22 at the shop.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
And I can get it for like 13.
Unless you're vaping like crazy, you're not going through 120 mils a day. Should last
No.
you like.
But I feel like that's still a heavy ass markup.
Dude, you guys are so popular now that you have people from Western Australia watching. Hello, Corey Monkton, aka Modi. Monkton, sorry.
I feel like I can share a bond with you because we're from the western part of places.
Yeah, he's from Western Australia. You want to talk about real perseverance and persecution in vaping?
Well, we,
Yes.
we finally know Swaggin's real name. Swagadagga Ding Dong.
Yep, Swagadagga Ding Dong. That was what people used to call me.
That's your birth name.
Yeah.
To address for Corey, I saw a comment that you know, I find it funny that Australia is persecuting vaping, but they want a smoke-free Australia by, what was it, 2021 or something like that. That's never going to happen if you get rid of vaping, because everybody's going to go right back to smoking. So, you know,
we just talked about this on our show. They're basically likening, there's a street magician going around, did a video where he's talking to teenagers, he pushes a jewel into his hand and pulls a cigarette out and then opens his hand and there's nothing in there. So he has the cigarette. He said vaping leads to smoking. And there the kids were like, oh, you know, they went from being like smoking is a thing of the past. Why would I do that? That's so ancient, to I'll never vape because I don't want to smoke.
But you know what, man? I did a video recently. I didn't really break down the stats a lot, but I mean, smoking in general in teens has gone down a lot since even the 90s, if you look at statistics. But I don't see where that would translate to the epidemic they make it out to be, because there's far worse things that underage kids are doing, you know, compared to vaping.
Absolutely. What do you think, Joe, in the corner?
Yeah.
Who's Joe?
Sorry, you're Joe. What do you know? You're Joe. What do you know? Hey, Joe. What do you know?
I'm trying to figure out how to make my audio go to stereo so that Nick and Robert stop bitching. And that's what I've been doing.
Nick and Robert, stop bitching.
They haven't actually bitched in a while. That's what I've been on.
You went down that trail, bro.
Yeah, and then somehow now I'm looking at VST plugins and shit. See what they did?
BST.
I think Swaggins knows what those are, but I doubt that anybody else does.
A2M?
VSTs, you know, for like Adobe Audition, Pro Tools.
No.
Oh.
I mean, here's the thing about Pro Tools. I worked for a media company for years, and there were guys who did the mixing on the board, the SSL. Was that what it's called?
Yeah, SSL.
Yep. And they did all the mixing, and then I was sitting in the editing booth, and I cut the mixed audio to the video, and that's all I wanted to do. When I saw Pro Tools, I was like, no thanks. I'll use Soundtrack. Appreciate it. Bye. So that's what a VTL is. A2M is ass to mouth. That's
that is true. One other question. What about a Blumpkin? Can we make them have to do all that? Would that solve our problems?
Hey, have you ever had a Blumpkin?
No.
No, thank you.
It's no better than any other way. I'll be honest.
No better?
No.
It's a little bit smellier, I feel like.
So,
No.
Yeah.
as someone who, I know we're, you know, my whole thing with advocacy lately is I've had a couple scenarios lately that have just really, it doesn't deter me in the way that it makes me want to stop, but it deters me in the way that it's sad to see people with the platforms that they have not using them better. Because I am now, and I was already fighting, but I didn't fight as hard as I could. I kind of got away from it for a little bit. I would talk about it. We'd talk about it, but I wasn't doing much until the shop was about to close. And then it was like, holy shit. And Phoenix was in this interesting place where they were a successful business, but their business was growing so fast that their profit was going back into buying new inventory. So they didn't really, and people who know business knows, you know what that is. So they hadn't been to the point where, even though their business was quickly growing, they weren't at a point yet where they were kind of flatlining on inventory, and they were instead taking that profit and investing it into themselves. Instead, they were having invested in a new product. So when the whole new tax here happened, we were fucked around by the government, who made us think that they were going to veto the floor tax. And that was basically the reason we were going to have to close, because we had so much inventory that the floor tax would have been 300,000-ish for Phoenix. Damn. Right? Which was Phoenix is I don't know if they want me to say this, but at this point I don't think it really matters, because they're like a week from closing. So they're about $1 million a year company, right? And this year they're on track to be better than that. Because the online side was growing so fast, but $300,000, it's a third of your annual revenue, and that's
all at
gross.
Once. They want that? They don't let you.
All
That's
at once.
Fucking ridiculous.
Actually, I take that back. I believe you have like 90 days. I apologize, which is
That's
basically all at once. So Phoenix was in this situation where they had been using all their profit to invest in new inventory to fulfill the new acquisition of customers, the new customer demand, and it just fucked them. And then they had a lease that was August 1st. They were going to have to re-sign a lease, and it was just too dangerous.
Dude, this is a fucking witch hunt. There's nothing about that that's even like, it's like, the best lie is the one in plain sight or whatever, hiding in plain sight. This is ridiculous. They are literally not even trying to hide it. Like my town, flavor ban. My state, under a potential flavor ban in the fall. And it's just like, to kill. I mean, the town that I live in, it's like, you ban the business is gone. What do? You can't. There's nothing to do. You can't sell anything. It's everything. That's your lifeblood. You're done.
Agree. What I think they did in Eric's state was a win-win situation for the government, because you either shut down all the small vape companies, or you make a huge profit by the companies who pay you the tax. It's a win-win situation for the government.
Well, here's what happened after we had discussions with the health advisor to the governor. He made it pretty clear. We were pretty comfortable. We have a big advocacy local organization called the Pink Lung Brigade, and also some representatives from the VTA, and then Phoenix. Like, we somehow got thrown in the situation as one of the leaders of this whole thing. And so the owner of Phoenix, the CEO, or I don't know what her title, president maybe, of the Pink Lung Brigade, and someone high up with VTA, they all went and met with this guy, and basically they came out of that meeting with a presumption that the floor tax would be vetoed. Well, Altria and Juul also set up a meeting with that same health advisor that was later in the day, and they also came into the last second, because we had talked with legislators, and there was a whole different bill that we thought was going to be passed, which was still going to hurt us, but it was something that we felt was a compromise, that although it leaned in the direction of benefiting the government more and not giving as much to the vaping industry as we wanted, it was something we could live with at least. And then at the last second, Altria and Juul come in, and all the language has changed, and you could see right in it when you know that Altria and Juul came.
Is this a fact though? Is this a fact, or is this
fact.
Conjecture? Does this come out?
This is not conjecture. This is a proven fact.
Okay.
Because one of the main sponsor, basically in the end, even though he fell for it, he in retrospect realized that he fucked up and admitted that they got in his head. Also fact is that people high up with Big Tobacco donated to our governor's presidential campaign in large amounts right after the
Well, the funny part is you said Altria. Do you know who owns Altria?
Oh yeah, of course.
R.J. Reynolds.
Right. And Juul, Pax Labs, was also one of the major players that came in at the end. Basically, the way the language is written is that a 60 milliliter bottle of e-liquid would be taxed at, what is it, 9 cents per
Milliliter?
milliliter, so 9 times
If it's
6
got nicotine in it or if it's anything.
doesn't matter. So
There's no red tape whatsoever. You
Three-
can't even like sell zero Nick with Nick shots.
So 360, if I'm doing my math right, for a 60 milliliter. And I know Robert Riggin in the chat is also in Washington State and has been really involved as well. And he can correct me if I'm getting any of this wrong. But 360, whereas a Juul pod is less than $1, right? But yet this was about youth vaping, right? And if you look at the language, the way they gave different concessions for closed pod systems within the legislation that got written in later, and there's other concessions that were given by other parts that were strucken through after everything.
Concessions on closed pod, because if it's Juul and Altria talking to them, Altria owns Views, which is the little Siga-like sons of bitches.
Right, and Altria has a large stake in Juul now as well. So
basically, we're fucked.
the way that what they're trying to do is make it to where Juul is basically it. That we'll all be vaping Juuls.
It's funny though, because even still, I mean, that's the great thing about democracy, is that as much as laws can be put into place, they can be amended, they can be changed, taken out. Basically, I'm not saying I'm living in an idealistic world, but at a certain point, the buck has to stop. And if the whole campaign, I think the campaign that they've created is going to be their ultimate undoing. Because if that were the scenario that we're under, where Juul's the only thing left, it's too glaring. I'm going to say that in a world, in a world that I live in, I want to say at least there's a certain point where people will say, fuck this. But if Juul is what they've been saying, Juuling, and the Juul is the only thing left, and that's what they've decided is okay, some people that are against us may wind up being for us, to be like, this is fucking ridiculous. They said Juul is what I didn't want my kid doing in school. Now Juul's the only thing that exists. So what was the fucking point? Right? And then maybe they'll do some research and listen to us, because their opinions will change a little bit and open up, and they'll be fighting for us, and they'll get rid of Juul, and then we'll see another revolution. Who knows?
I think it'll be too late.
I don't know, man. I think we live somewhere where we can change things, and I think that discussions can be had, money can be exchanged if you have to, whatever. This is the world of hypotheticals. We're living in a hypothetical system whenever we're talking beyond what's going on right now. So who's to say we can't talk about, like, really break into different paths of how things could change?
Yeah, along those lines, I mean, look how many Obama era things Trump changed within the first 90 days of being in office.
Well, that's Obama's own fault. Let's be honest.
That's true.
He didn't go through the right process to get it like sealed. He did it himself and was like, all right, let me get this shit done, and knew full well that it was any president and any person can veto that because it wasn't done through Congress.
So,
but honestly, my biggest problem is we're turning into an idiocracy, because the general public, they're not involved. They spout off. They don't, and I don't mean this in a derogatory way, but there are too many people out there spouting off. There's too much misinformation, and honestly, my problem is my biggest enemy right now is the media. And I said this on one of our former shows. I don't know how old you are, Swaggins. So I'm going to look at it this
42.
way. Okay. So you probably remember back in the day, reporters used to get in trouble for lying. You had to.
Absolutely. Look at Walter Cronkite.
Yep. And people had lost their jobs over not giving the correct information. Now the media just outright fucking lies and then says First Amendment. No, that's not fair. You're lying to the public.
Oh,
And
that's called fake news, William.
what?
They call it fake news, and then it just gets
But
spouted
the
about.
problem is you call it fake news, I call it fake news. But the problem is if enough people believe it, it becomes the truth.
Well, one
that's
second.
the thing.
One second, guys. Not to derail the conversation, but because I'm the special guest, I just take pleasure in doing it.
Yeah.
I just want to shout out Sick Boy in the chat. An absolute mensch. I love that dude.
Yes,
if
very
you
good
guys
guy.
know him, I love Sick Boy.
Yes, very good dude.
Love you, dude.
Let me ask you something though, and this goes back to the underage vaping thing. So, has there ever been like a independent study done on if it's really affecting the youth?
Yeah, well, there's a study. Basically, the number that they have, the number that they say, like, say 30% of kids are vaping. They were vaped last year, or 30% of students vaped last year, let's say. And they actually, I think it was Danielle Jones who broke it down for Vapun magazine, I believe.
Yes.
But anyways, she broke it down, and it actually, by the time you get down to the tiered, it's like tried vaping was more of the chunk.
Now look,
6% actually vaped, and like 3% of those were underage or something like
now,
that.
but look, that word "tried it" that gets lumped into a
Vaped.
lot of the studies as underage vaping. But the thing is, if you look at the words, tried it in the last 30 days, but then it translates to people as these kids are vaping every day. They're binge vaping. They're vaping everywhere, but that's not the case, you know. So that I just don't like the studies that I see about that stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw actually the report I was telling you guys about where my mother-in-law and I were watching it. They actually brought up the fact, and I knew this was going to happen. I said this, and everybody's like, no. They're actually, now the news organizations are starting to talk about the UL amulet, that watch vape. And they're using that as being directed towards kids. So that's our next fight.
But you know what, man? We've talked about this before. I hate the whole it's against the kids argument, because it's just a shit argument, you know.
No, I agree, but also in fairness, innovation for the sake of innovation, I don't agree with. You don't need to make a watch vape. You don't need to make a hat that has a little pipe that comes out and vapes. You don't
But
need
who's to say that adults don't want that, you know? Who's to say that an adult who's legal to smoke doesn't want that?
I understand that, but I really don't give a shit, because all we're doing is
It's savage.
the problem is we're giving the media more ammo against us. Tone your shit down for a little while. Just make regular mods. You know what? It's not like we're going to stop vaping. Just keep it really. And I agree, Michelle, question everything. That is 100% question everything. Fucking vet the shit out of it. Because the problem is people see it from their own point of view. Try a little empathy and look at it from different angles first. And you might.
They used to teach that in schools too, didn't they?
Wait,
Yep.
what exactly are you saying that for? Just what topic? What are you saying?
Exactly. It's my problem is the topic is they're making all these things and they're trying to innovate vaping, like making a vape watch and making all these different. I remember back in the day, there used to be a hoodie string that went through and it had a vape on one end and
Wait,
it held
wasn't
back
that?
other
I thought that
end.
was fake. I thought that was just like a joke.
No, it was actually out and it didn't sell. Nobody bought it. But the problem is right there. It's innovation for the sake of innovation. Yes, veteran Valkill, absolutely. That fucking lollipop vape. That fucking thing, you know what? You need to find the guy who invented it and literally stick it up his ass, because that is the stupidest fucking thing I ever saw.
So, I mean, look, we've discussed this. Do you think that this should be allowed on vape bottles? Do you think pictures should be allowed on vape bottles?
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah,
do you think
it's a picture of what the flavor is. Don't put cartoon characters on there. Don't put cereal.
I think
logos.
cartoon characters should even be allowed on there. In a world where we're talking about what should and shouldn't be allowed, it
Well,
should
'cause
be allowed.
by that bill, those stars wouldn't be allowed on there because they're cartoonish?
Here's my
Yeah.
deal. Let me explain it to you from an old man's point of view. All right? I don't give a fuck if the label is plain white with black block lettering. I care about what's inside the bottle.
Yeah, but you know what? From a
Like,
Might
I care about.
be a little
From a
dust
business
on the
standpoint, though,
bottle,
man,
but don't
you're-
let it fool you.
you're trying to sell your product. What looks better to you? A blank bottle? I mean, as just because you have a business, you're putting a product out that you want to sell to people.
I
mean,
agree. But
you want your shit to look good.
If it's a picture of what your flavors are, yes. But like I said before, I don't care if you put pictures on it. The point I was making, I was going a little.
I think this is good.
I was saying, but
Pyongyang.
But if you're gonna put like, you know, no offense, if you make a Fruity Pebbles flavor and you put Fred Flintstone with fucking Bam Bam and Pebbles sitting next to
That's a little bit extreme, William.
But that's what I mean. Don't put
IP theft, though. That's a totally different story. Like that's like, I mean, it would be more realistic to say that it's okay for me to have these things in my background and not have it be IP theft than for me to be selling something that's a physical thing. Like
I agree. I'm just trying to make a point. But if you're going to put cartoon characters and stuff like that, that would appeal to children. No, you shouldn't put it on a bottle. You know, no offense. Put the bottle down. Grab a fucking toddler. Put the bottle down on the table. If the toddler walks past it, like it doesn't mean anything.
Put the bottle down.
I mean, you could say that about a lot of shit. You know, that's not a fair argument. I mean, I get what you're saying. I know what they would go for, but
most people who have children, if you're running a company, I'm pretty sure you're old enough to have children and you know what would appeal to a child. Most people, I would say with common sense. My problem is the term common sense was probably coined by someone who didn't know a lot of people.
Yeah, it was Paine, that guy Thomas Paine, Common Sense.
Yes.
But outside of that, Bill, I mean, in essence, you're bringing us into a whole nother topic that's been discussed at length, but still pertinent, is parenting.
Yes.
It's child appealing. Well, you're a parent. Don't let your child do it. If it appeals to them, then don't let them do it. It's like, oh, it exists out in the world. It's going to appeal to my child. I'm not around to helicopter them, so I need to make sure it doesn't appeal to them. Like, then make them colorblind. Or actually, you know what? Tie a blindfold over their face.
I agree. That's another statement that I've made multiple times. You know what? Raise your fucking children. Don't let the fucking government and the schools raise your child.
What about the Russian pole dancers that are like half clothed and they're on Twitch streaming in the streaming in the just chatting channel? Okay, it's softcore. It's softcore porn. It's softcore porn. Is that child appealing? Yes. I mean, we're sexualizing kids that aren't even old enough. Like their chromosomes haven't even said, "Hey, this is what we are."
I was thinking
that's all the social media things, though, man.
Yeah, no, I feel you, Bill. I'm just saying, like, how outrageous it is. You know, you have kids like I had to wait for my mom's Victoria's Secret catalog to come in the mail or the Sears catalog. Okay,
I was just talking about this. Yeah,
I had it hard. All right, I walked up downhill both ways. Yeah, I had it hard for those catalogs.
Me too.
Kids have everything. You mean parental controls can't even get around this shit.
Then when you graduate to like an old beat up Playboy you found.
Oh yeah.
Dude, I found my brother's stash. Like he was fucking smart at hiding shit. I opened up his drawer. It was when he was moving out. I opened up his drawer and his like whatever. And underneath like the rail where it sat, because the drawer came out and then it fell and the magazines fell out from underneath. Brilliant.
See, we just used our neighbor's spare sheep. It's really
you know you're a guy when you admire somebody else for their deviant behavior.
Brilliant.
Are you staring at me, Eric?
No, I was just I had a pet lamb, so that really was
touched it hard, touched it deep.
Triggered,
not touched me in the same way that it touched you. That's for sure.
Yes.
I'm
different.
touched.
Different touching.
Not the West Virginia touch. Not the.
Nope, you don't want that touch.
No, I sure as hell don't.
I keep looking at Steve looking to the side, and his fade game's on point there.
Yeah, he does have. He always has nice fades. It pisses me off.
Keeps looking to the side.
Is that a ruler?
Look, I'm like 6 weeks overdue for a haircut because I've been building this fucking box that I'm in right now.
Tell me about it. I look tan AF right now, though.
Yeah,
I don't even see the sun.
I saw the sun. I opened up my eyes and saw the sun.
Yeah, and then didn't see anything else for a little while.
Thanks for that.
You're welcome.
That was beautiful.
I try to keep quiet because then Steve wants to just go after I say anything.
That's not true. You didn't say much.
Eric took over Bear Grylls hideout. That's fucked up.
There's a thunderstorm going on right now. It's kind of scary.
Oh,
Is
yeah,
it?
Massachusetts
Your
thunderstorms
Thundercoat.
are scary.
It's because of all the trees.
Yep. Fall River,
And all
Mass.
all the Super Bowl rings.
Oh, damn. All the Super Bowl rings.
It's a completely unrelated burn, but it's just like it has a little heat to it, you know.
Spicy caliente.
Oh shit! What happened?
I think you lost
I
power.
know, I didn't lose shit. I don't want to fucking see this man right now.
How does turning your camera off?
I don't fucking know. It felt like it worked. It felt like it did something.
Yeah,
I don't even want to see you right now. I'm turning my camera off.
He had to turn off the camera because he converted his outhouse into a studio. You didn't want you to see him wiping.
Oops, I broke something. There we go.
Oh, we were frozen, but it's totally cool.
Now I have to fix everything because I was fucking around trying to be
You
funny.
broke us.
Yeah,
That's okay.
This is a fun show, guys.
thank you.
Thanks, man. Love to have you.
When does it end?
Right now.
Oh, okay.
Here's your hat. What's your hurry?
Oh, I did shows back to back, and I haven't eaten yet. So, plus I want to get high.
Me too. That's
All right. Well, on that note,
why I built this little shack.
that way you guys can get high and eat. I will let you go. How about that? Does that sound good?
Steven, it's been a pleasure. Thank
It's
you.
been a pleasure for me.
Does he
Thank you.
turn off
Is
his
that,
camera
is, that,
now?
is that the end?
I just put my thumb in front because that's all I have. But yeah, all right, Mr. Swaggin, since you're the guest, would you like to start the outro?
I forget how the outro goes because normally by
Oh, it's
this
just
point
like
in the
goodbye.
oh, hey, remember, if you're not a wait, that's not mine. Wait, which one is mine? Which one is mine? They're all not mine. Safe.
So who you gonna pass it to there, buddy?
Oh, I pass it too. I'm
Yes.
gonna pass it to Bill
Pass it
Cooper,
around.
or AKA Bill Savage.
Savage Cooper.
You know what? I get a little angry, but I love everyone. Trust me, it's all good.
That's the
I am
big-
He's fucking lying.
I am typical Jersey. I will get angry, but
That's
I will
debatable,
calm down
Bill.
just as fast as I got angry. What's with you in that fucking Mickey Mouse fucking Yogi Bear hat?
Every time I get off the show, I have to go hunt for my dinner, so I have to leave with this hat on.
Cold out there in the north.
Wearing fur.
This isn't faux fur, Bill. This is real fur, okay?
I know, that's right. All right, so everybody go check out my rant on the end of the video that I just did. I did a little video about the Widowmaker, which is this little beauty with my nice, awesome panels from CS Wood Designs.
Where did you get that mask, Eric?
My son. It's my son's.
He's got an overlay. That's awesome.
We're all wearing masks.
Bill's is the ugliest.
Hey, don't be mad. Don't be mad. No, so yeah, go check out the video. I had a little bit of a rant on the end of it for the Widowmaker there. Definitely make sure you're following all these other handsome men here. And see you next week.
Oh, I want
Jesus
that
Christ,
one.
it's fucking Batman.
It's Wolverine, you dumbass.
Batman.
He said,
Batman.
"Man with mask, it must be Batman."
Dude, it looks like Batman, but I guess it's not, huh? Oh, there he is.
Steve, is that supposed to be Rip Troopers?
No,
What
that's
is that?
Batman.
That's Batman as well.
You don't,
Daily
got
Vape
my-
TV.
you don't know who that is, Bill? You suck.
Nope, don't know who it is.
Hey, wait, how the hell do you do that, man?
What are you talking about? It's my face.
Your face looks like a fucking cartoon.
Yeah,
Am I
it's a
tripping?
cartoon filter.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
dude. Yeah, don't even worry about it.
You got a mustache on top of your mustache.
Dude, I'll tell you about it when
when we end the show. It's a
Hey, your mustache looks like my hair mustache.
Sure does.
Does it not?
Yep.
Bill, are you going to pass it? Or are you going to be greedy with the
I'm
outro?
going to pass it to Steve with his awesome hair mustache going on there.
Oh, thank you. I'm going to curl my hair
You're
mustache.
like an altar boy.
Bill, no politics or religion on the channel, okay? So, I would like to thank Mr. Swaggins for being here, and I would like to thank Eric for setting up the visuals in the back end of this show, because we would be lost without him. You've seen this. You've seen the show without him. I can barely get it running. But I want to thank you all in the chat, because, you know what? I love you guys. Why wouldn't I love you? I did my hair mustache. I got it all nice for you. And I would like to thank William for being savage. I cannot say thank you enough. But yes, go subscribe to, Mr. Politician over there and Mr. William from Cooper's Vaping View. Catch Mr. Swaggins on the Stew and the High End Vape Forum, as well as the Omies. And
Power Ranger to the rescue.
I'm gonna pass it over to. I'm not sure what that mask is. I'm gonna pass it over to you.
The Green
I'm
Ranger.
not sure either. Okay, my son bought me this for Father's Day, and it was a great present.
Oh man, that shit's pretty cool. Actually, I bet if you
That
turn the
is
light
really
off, it'd be dope looking.
It's from Purge. The Purge. The
Oh,
movie.
really?
So wait, who are you? I thought you just had a cartoon face.
I'm Vapor Swaggins. I'm here so you don't have to be.
Hi, how are you? Anyway, sorry, Eric.
Oh, it's 7:27, so we're gonna
10:27.
It's 7:27, so we're gonna start doing our sign outs, and I appreciate you all being here, and for everyone, including Shane, who just had to remind me again at the end that yes, my audio is in mono. I fucking get it. That's an awesome shirt, by the way, Coil Turd. Thank you, Mr. Swaggins, for being here and making this show actually have at least one handsome man not named Steve. And thank you to the audience out there for taking our debauchery in stride. Yeah, I'm going to start having reviews up again soon now that I've got a computer up and electricity and internet. I don't have one of those, unfortunately.
Do you get to keep? Are you going to be doing all your videos still on the Phoenix Vapor channel on YouTube?
Yeah, but I'm changing the channel name slightly. It's
Cool.
going to be the Vape Odyssey, which was like our Facebook group name. So
You should let everybody know that ahead of time on all your social media.
there's going to be like a rebranding published and all that, and they'll see. And then tomorrow I'm going to be doing the studio will be finished, and all my patrons are going to get to see it first.
Dude,
what
you
it
need a
looks like.
voice changer for that mask. Like that mask should become a thing, but you should do a voice changer with it.
You're already. Don't reveal my secret. It's for,
Yeah, I haven't heard-
it's for my second channel.
Boring.
It's for my second channel. We'll just-
Oh, is the Insane Clown Posse having a comeback?
No, it's my son is not going to reveal his face, so
Oh, okay.
that we would match. He got
Vape
me
Illuminati,
one, two.
dude. Is that name taken? Because if it isn't, you need to take that right now.
Oh shit!
Vape
Oh, yeah.
Illuminati, take that shit now, immediately. Get the fucking web domain.
Right now.
Fuck! Right now? Well, okay.
At 10:29, take that.
No, it's 7:29, and I gotta go.
Yeah, vapeilluminati.tv or .com. Fuck yeah.
My mom said it's dinner time. I gotta go.
All right.
Bye,
Clean
guys.
your room?
See ya.
Bye.